Hello, everybody. My name is Ariel Efron, and I'm the creative director of Gallagher and Associates, which is a design studio specializing in museum design in the U.S. And I am the lead of the New York studio, which is specializing in interactive media. I want to talk about our design practice and process through a museum, a project we're doing in Tel Aviv, Israel, which is Museum of the Jewish People in Tel Aviv. The museum is a redesign project. The museum originally was opened in 1978. For its time, it was considered to be a cutting-edge museum that introduced innovative approach on integrating audio and visual elements within the museum. It was successful for 4 decades, and then part of the natural aging of institutions, there was a decline in the number of visitors, and a new need emerged to rethink, redesign the mission statement, the message, and the means of presentation. After an international design competition, Gallagher and Associates won the concepting and the design. And we are working closely with the curation team led by Ariel and Grover to establish this new vision. With this understanding that heritage and historical museums today they play a vital role establishment and acceptance of historical, ethnical, and cultural identities. They started this process. So we started to analyze who the target audience is and the mission statement of the museum and what are the possibilities that are out there. So as we start to kind of ask ourselves, how is this different than what we started with? We kind of analyzed Israeli society and basically understood that throughout those 40 years it has become this isolated subculture society that secular Israelis do not know much about religious Israelis, and they actually don't want to know. It's a little bit of conflict. The relationship between Israel and the Jewish diaspora worldwide has been dramatically changed, and the subtext of that is actually that there is a little bit of a tear between those two entities. Within the museum narrative, the Holocaust in the old museum was a founding event, was actually the glasses in which you read history, and the entire storytelling of the museum was kind of looked upon from the angle of the Holocaust, and basically the position on the Jewish diaspora was, or communities of Jews around the world, was that it's a stage on their way to Israel, and they kind of did not accept their being in where they are around the world as a given fact. Another huge missing part of this was the fact that the historical narrative went all the way until the 1800s, which basically a massive amount of the very crucial critical story was for listening. The museum had a database, but it was only on-site accessible, and the user experience was quite horrible. So then we bring what we thought to the table, which was all of the new technological possibilities, that really drastic shift in human perception because of technology, and all of those new tools and instruments that we are given now with the ability to play with them, to be the storyteller of the 21st century. So I'm going to go through a couple of projects within that big project to kind of emphasize how we think and how we work. The first exhibit is is the atrium. It's the biggest exhibit of the museum. It's visible from all 3 floors. And in the original museum, which is what you can see at the bottom, it's a very dark space. This is what it symbolizes the Holocaust. It's kind of this structure made out of metal and like a cage. And it's very heavy, very dark, very about the absence or the Holocaust of the background. So we created this structure, basically riffing on the idea that history is basically a parallel path that sometimes they're intertwined, they might be parallel, and it creates this kind of spiral structure that spans from the ground floor to the ceiling. It's made out of LEDs, so it allows this flow from bottom to up and vice versa. It will have texts that are coming from the heritage, the culture that spans from biblical texts to contemporary literature and poetry. And this is how it would look like in its space. In addition, the ground floor and all the balconies where it's accessible from will be embedded with sensors that would trigger the appearance of those texts and movements on that sculpture. This exhibit is called World Jury. It's the second in the sequence of the experience of the museum. The idea is to, it's a combination of 4 touch screens and a projection surface that basically is facing visitors with statistical data and knowledge. And then it allows them to, in an interactive, playful way, to explore in depth where, for example, where Jews are living in the world, and in kind of a compare and contrast, explore different aspects of that. So the sequence is first you explore, and then you are invited to vote, to stay, to react, to say your opinion. So it's a mechanism for creating a poll in real time. Once you vote, you get the division of votes according to how other visitors voted. And it's a 10 question, 10-15 question questionnaire. When you're done, you're getting a summary of all how you created, what you answered. So this is, in a way, symbolize this approach in which we are creating input stations throughout the museum narrative to invite visitors to react, vote, they create user profile, and at the end of the museum experience, all of this accumulated data, which includes video recording booth and photo booth with commenting and tagging, will be displayed on this big interactive touch wall, which will allow visitors to see other visitors and maybe themselves open, and there will be a super title just exploring what is the main topic this segment of the sequence is exploring, and then in a free-form way visitors will be able to open and hear more of what other visitors were talking. They also will be able to add comments through typing on the wall or through their mobile device. This exhibit is called Cultural Tables, and basically the idea is to invite visitors to create their own cultural mashups. So it will will cover basically the field of modern art, music, theater, and film, literature, and dance through the 20th century and the 21st century. Basically the idea is to isolate elements and to create this drag and drop interface in which visitors can assemble with their own mashup or collage. This is how it works. You drag the background, then you select the characters, drag them in They all have slight animations, and you can zoom, rotate, scale. You can add a quote from literature, kind of give it a title to what you're creating. You can add a soundtrack. And then all the pieces that you have created, whether you know them or don't, have this layer of information kind of hidden in them. So when you touch, it expands and it shows you the artist, it shows you where is it coming from, the context of the piece. And of course, all of that will be relevant, accessible through a mobile device and a web presence as well. The other exhibit, which is roughly talking about the same idea, but in a different way, it's called Music Studio. Basically, an interactive music recording studio that has 3 cameras, a touch screen, and a monitor. And we invite visitors to select a song from songs they know, provided by female singers, male singers, and bands. They will select the song, rehearse it. They will get aware of the fact that there are 3 cameras. They will start recording. At the end of the process, they will enter their username. And then through an algorithm process generating this automatic video clip that will take the feeds from 3 cameras, will generate text animation, and will at the end, this is how it's going to look like. So it's the raw materials with layers of the lyrics as animations. Again, this output will be embedded on the timeline with points of knowledge about the song, about the lyrics, about the poet or writer who wrote the song. And then, of course, it will be accessible for sharing on social network and on the web using that. This is another kind of direction we're going, and this is to create this online mapping of Jewish communities worldwide, where we and the museum creation team will create the basic ground, which will be an interactive screen on the site, but also on the web. We will invite users from around the world to contribute and open their own community pages, add information, add events, add photos. This is another interactive exhibit, which invites people to basically write about the moment that they felt the need to address God or higher being. Basically, visitors will be invited to write that moment, share it, a note will be folded, then will fly to a projected, it's a 3D object, sculpture, a white book. The note will then fly, will establish itself on the book. The note will disappear, the note will be taken, will become a part of the book, and then after a few seconds, the projection will kind of erase the note. It will then go to a CMS system for approval, because the museum is in the process of approving. It's kind of an intimate experience, allows one-on-one interaction, but the book itself is something that will accumulate over time. So to conclude, in terms of the principles we are trying to implement. So the design process is implemented from the core. It's not a patch of the last minute, because most of the time in this industry it tends to happen. So we think from the very beginning, filmmakers and exhibit designers and media developers, all from the very beginning, to create this more organic process. We want to integrate user-generated content participation as an ongoing means to create content beyond the opening date of the museum. So The museum collections are actually pretty much alive and they change through time and through participation of visitors. This principle, which is key, the learning through experience, when you do that, you create memorable experiences and you make the users authors and they can share what they did. The hub of knowledge expands beyond the experience on-site and exploration outside, in depth, on the museum's website is a key and core element in what we're doing, and with that, let's